All right, we're recording?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, Scott Pierce here, Listings to Leads. Vince is on the call also. I've only got about 15 minutes, and I've got to run, so Vince is going to do the remainder of the call with everybody. But wanted to share something real quickly before I leave that we just kind of thought about over the weekend, and this is a compilation of a number of things that a number of clients are doing successfully to generate seller leads. And you'll see the post in our mastermind group, 4706 Gold River Lane, Granite Bay, just sold above asking price. Thinking about selling your Granite Bay home soon. Find out how much your home is worth in 15 seconds. And this is a post, and this idea would work both for a post and for a ad. I think this is one of those awesome kind of content posts that would work on your business page, but also essentially the same thing as an ad. And the reason I like this is because when you lead with listings, you get people's attention. And so when people, and this would work for coming soon, 4706 Gold River Lane, coming soon, thinking about selling your Granite Bay home soon, find out how much your home is worth in 15 seconds. It would work for just listed, probably open house, active, completely would work for pending and just sold as well. But we're leading with the listing, and I think this is something that I would think about doing in addition to your regular property evaluation ad, because it's different, it's fresh, right? It's about, we're talking about a particular listing here, but again, we're using that and then they go, oh yeah, oh wow, so 4706 Gold River in this case just sold. Yeah, I wonder what my home is worth. Boom, seller lead, right? And again, this would work coming soon, just listed, active, open house, pending, just sold. And so I'm going to show you real quickly how to create this. And Vince, can you make sure that everybody can hear us okay? I'm getting someone says they can't hear us. Can they hear me talking? Can everybody hear me talking? This is Scott Pierce. Just real quickly. Yep. Okay, good. So I'm going to go to my landing page's dashboard. And I'm not going to put it up here. I'm just going to go to whichever one of these I use regularly for my property valuation landing pages. In this case, it'll be property valuation +1. Plus means there's automated valuations on the back end. 1 means it's a one-page landing page as far as the lead capture, so it only returns full leads. I'm going to click here to add more specific area property valuation +1 landing pages. And then in this box here, I'm going to put the area, the address, and I'll just put JL for just listed. I'll hit the save button. We'll take a quick look at it, and then I'll go edit it. So that's what it looks like right now, but we're going to go in here and hit on the edit page. And then here I will put 4705 All right. I'm going to leave everything as it is. Let's keep it simple. Let me back up here real quick at the top. Upload images of the listing. Same image twice. Don't put a different image under Facebook share. We do that because Facebook kind of messes around with how they display share images. And so we've got this secondary as a backup. So it should be the same image twice, of the front of the house twice, the kitchen twice, whatever image you're going to use. Typically kitchens and front of the house work best when you're showing off a listing. I'll go to the bottom, hit save update. And then I would run this the same as the property evaluation landing page as far as going onto Facebook and creating the ad. So I'm going to copy the URL, go over to Facebook, go to create ad. I'm going to do this a little bit quick. Vince will stay with you and he'll get into this more. So don't worry about trying to write down what I'm doing necessarily. Send people to your website. Copy in the URL. And we got write-ups on all of this in the, in fact, I'll show you where the write-ups are and all that. Campaign name, I might do Granite Bay Home Values. And that way I know what this landing page is related to. It's related to Granite Bay Home Values, and it's using this listing at this status. So, but you can do whatever you want there. Key, of course, is always zip code 95746, not the city, but the zip code. All right, you want to be targeted to the zip code. I will look at my age, bump that up to 22, 24, whatever is appropriate. And then under more demographics, as always, go to home, home ownership, homeowners, right? The three things: zip code, increase my age just as appropriate, whatever that's going to be, and then select homeowners. I'll leave it for $5 a day for a week. So I'll leave it at 5 and hit the calendar button here. I'll go from 9/8 to 9/15. The ad will end automatically. And then the headline, actually let's do the text. No. Let's just do there we go. Let's do Granite Bay Home Valuations or Granite Bay Values. And this is all stuff that you'll see again with events in a little bit. I'll do a Learn More button. I got a few different Facebook pages. I'll just use my Granite Bay Homes. And again, this is above and beyond the regular property valuation landing page. But because we're always trying to stay fresh, there's so many people running these kinds of ads that we want to make sure that we're staying kind of ahead of the curve. Kind of if everyone else is going left, we want to be able to keep one part of us going left, but we also want to go, kind of zig when everybody else is zagging, right? So this is one of those really awesome things. Again, we're leading with the listing, right? Get their attention. We offer their home value. Under Show Advanced Options, I'll just paste in I'll just go ahead and paste in the text. I've already got my text on this. Let's see, here we go. On this version of the landing page, I'll just grab that text for the property valuation IVR, drop it into the news feed, and of course I'll remove mobile, right? The totally mobile responsive landing pages, but especially if you're just starting out, we want you to remove mobile so you can get a baseline. Facebook is going to spend your money. Right, they're going to display your ad to people, but we want them to display it to people mostly on the desktop, right? Especially when you're just starting, get a baseline for how it's working, then you can add in more. Again, all these landing pages are mobile responsive. We've got a great looking ad you can see here from the Granite Bay Homes community page on Facebook. Here's the text above. Granite Bay Home Values, or text. That'd be an image of the listing. Hit place order. So again, this is something that I just kind of thought it through over the weekend. Again, this is a compilation of a number of things different clients are doing successfully, both online and offline. And again, it's about about leading with the listing to get the attention of the homeowners, right? And then offering them the home value in the follow-up. Okay. So Vince is going to continue on for the rest of the webinar. He'll talk about the standard listing landing pages for buyer leads, the standard property valuation landing pages where we're not using a listing, that you're just using the property valuation landing page. You got a great image of the community here, not of the listing, and so on. But again, I just wanted to make sure I got in here, share this with everybody. It is on the mastermind group, so I gave you that link a little earlier. Pat, do you see that link I put in the mastermind group in the chat section? or Doug, Steve, Don, anybody else want to just confirm that real quickly, Robert, that I put a link at the beginning of this webinar here to the mastermind group, and you'll see that link in the chat box. Go ahead and click on that, but come right back into the webinar. I'm going to be taking off, but Vince will be carrying it forward the rest of the way here, and I will just change presenter back to Vince. Vince, you got it back to you?
Oh, I got to wake up? Okie dokie.
You got to wake up, buddy.
All right. Okay.
And actually, people say they don't see it, but just go to the mastermind group, and I'll bump it. It's actually right near the top, Don. So go to our mastermind group. Vince will tell you how to get there, and you'll see a link to that post. All right. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I got to run. Vince, I'll talk to you a little later.
Cool. See ya. Okay. Let me just pull up. Let's just go to the mastermind group real quick and see if we can actually look at that so you can see it. If you haven't joined the mastermind group, you can do it inside of Listings to Leads, and there's a big blue button on the homepage as soon as you log in. This post right here is the one that he's talking about. And we've got a couple of other posts here that we were looking at, and you can also see it in the mastermind group. But these are other ideas of what's working. And I think one thing that I want all of you to be aware of is when you copy a link from any of our landing pages and you paste it in and you do this ad, and I'm going to show you again how to do that, there's this default generic language. And that language isn't the most powerful, so we want you to think of something yourself or take some of the ideas that we're showing you today. This is a just listed page here, and it says just listed, click for the info or text, and that's actually our text IVR technology, which is you can add to your account for instant info. And this agent, and this is in the mastermind group, if you look at Bettina's name, you'll see that she's generated just a ton of leads, right? A bunch of web clicks, 16 complete leads filled out, and some other partial leads. So she's just taking a picture of a kitchen and pushing it out there and getting people to dial the text, IVR stuff and getting leads, and that's great. Here's another example of and let me make sure, because I see things popping up. Let me make sure you can see my screen. This is a home value page, right? And this is a really good example of what we're thinking of when we talk about changing the language, okay? Normally, when you see us talking about put a home valuation landing page up there, what we always talk to everybody about is change that background picture so that it means something to your community. And here's Jim with his own name up there. It's not like it's not a community page. This is the generic page that all of you have seen, right? So this we would look at and go, oh, this doesn't work. But you know what's making this work is the language that he's putting, because it's really clear. Planning on selling your West Windsor home? Find out your home's value for free instantly. So when somebody clicks on that, they know exactly what they're trying to get, because he's so explicit in that message. And that's what you got to do. You got to think of what's going to help me. I'm going to put this ad. Thousands of people are going to see it. I certainly want to click on it, but I don't want them to click on it and then get to a place and realize, like, oh, I really don't want that, right? I'm not really looking for that. So both of these people, you will see these posts in our mastermind group. Both of these people are having really great responses out of these. So we wanted to show those to you, all right? I know I see some of the names on there, but I'm going to kind of splash up our homepage here. If you're not already a client, come here, sign up on the homepage. Our support people will set up your account for you. You can log in and start looking at tutorials, stuff like that. So when you log in, and let me take a quick glance at who's here today. Give me a second. When you log in, you see this page pop up all the time. And what we do here, you can register for a webinar like Getting Started or Facebook advertising like the one we're doing today. We've also got this recording of Shannon Pyatt. I know many of you have been with us, have listened to that and watched that. Shannon did that call with us at the beginning of this year, 2015, and then came back just about a month ago and said, hey, 90% of my new business is coming from using your tools on Facebook. So what Shannon does as a strategy, he is still doing as a strategy, and I recommend you learn that. And that's why we keep having this call, because we want our clients to take this kind of knowledge and apply it to Facebook and apply it to wherever you can. But we are going to talk about Facebook, and so let's kind of dive into that. Okay. Um, First of all, again on the homepage, there is a listings join our listings to leads mastermind group. So if you haven't joined it, log in, click this button, go say you want to join, we'll accept you, and that's awesome, right? Over here is a Facebook advertising button. This is where you want to go if you're thinking about how you're going to use Facebook, if you want to get seller lead generation, etc., right? There's a quick little video down here showing you how to create those pages, how to customize those pages. The number 2 spot here shows you how to run an ad. We're actually going to run an ad together in just a minute here. This is a recent recording. Here's another agent that's got really awesome results. And so you can sort of see and listen to what she's doing too. Similar themes, right? Similar things are going on. Continue running ads. And I've talked to a lot of you over, the past few months. You learn, you either take off running, maybe you trip a few times, but as you keep doing it, more and more lead generation occurs and higher quality leads. So that information, take the time to learn this. If you're new to us with listings to leads, you start to quickly get overwhelmed because there's just so many tools in here. And so just to learn how to do Facebook effectively takes some time, right? How to get our tools right, how to put the language right, it takes some time. Then you fine tune that strategy, and that turns into just an awesome machine that's going to help build your business. So take your time, do that, learn from us, get on these calls. There are more tutorials on the online tutorial section, etc. So let's jump over here. Well, before we go to the landing page section, I'm going to kind of dive into, because as I click that Facebook advertising button, that's actually Melanie Banks, and she's from the Pennsylvania, kind of west of Pittsburgh area. She did an awesome call with us, and it might actually been on her call that Shannon Pyle was on, and he was in the background like you guys sitting here on the chat panel saying, yeah, you're totally right, I've been doing this, and I got 900 leads. And when I saw that pop up as a message to me, I was like, what? And I was like, well, I need to get him on the call, right? We need to find out what he's doing. And they're both doing the same thing. So I want to talk about what they are doing, and there's more details, but at a high level, they are doing two things. They are running property valuation landing pages, and they are running ads. And when they do that landing page, they're running it with pay-per-click advertising on Facebook. And when they have listings, they market those listings with landing pages or tools to also on Facebook. So there's two things happening. And to kind of explain, I want to do the second part first. I'm kind of clicking around. Here's a home that's just sold, right? And if I go over here, that property number 5 on Yukon Cliff, I've got a landing page. It says listing landing page up here for property number 5. And when I click on that, let's see this, it'll open up. Now this is a default landing page, right? And I know it's default because it's got a smaller photograph, and that's because photographs come in compressed from the MLS. And this is cool. Our offices use this. Our office clients that have like hundreds of listings, they want to put up something basic just to show that we're here. Well, they can use that. Agents, however, who have usually a fewer amount of listings, they usually want to take an extra step. And what they like to do, let's see if I can do it right here. Yeah, here's another listing landing page for a home that is active contingent. And these, just so we understand the vernacular, right? When a landing page is a web page that has one function, and that is to get the lead. It does not have multiple links on it. It does not have multiple go learn here and click here or this or that. No, you can tell that this page here has one goal: get the contact information, right? And then if I go look over here on the default version, same thing. Little info, want more info, fill it out here. In both cases, you get that information, right? You get that lead email to you, things like that. So this is active contingent. You can actually change the status on this to say coming soon, just listed, open house, price reduced, just sold, active contingent, all that, right? And that's the big piece that many of you do not pay attention to. And this is what turns your seller lead generation on, like fully on. And that's because what you're doing, this says here it's a home in Naples. So let's say you want to you live in Naples, Florida, and you want to get more listings in Florida, right? Now, what I would tell you, first thing is, well, you need to run a what is your Naples home worth page in Facebook, and you tell Facebook, I want everybody in Naples to see this, and put in 10, 20 bucks a day and start going at it. But if you really want that to work incredibly well for you, you need to show that you're actually involved in real estate. And if you've got landing pages like this that say, hey, I have a home coming soon, I have a home just sold, I have a home under house, oh, here's a virtual tour, you're targeting the same area, the same zip code, the same city, but it doesn't cost you as much. You're not spending 10 or 20 bucks a day. Maybe you're spending $1 or $2 a day. And with $1 or $2 a day, thousands of people are going to see that ad, and they're going to start seeing that, oh, this guy has a listing. He's got something just sold, got something coming soon. They, like any other branding, start to get familiar with you. And then when you start putting out there that, hey, if you'd like to get your home value, well, boom, you start getting more people clicking and people more comfortable giving you that information because maybe they've been seeing your name pop up related to real estate all month. Now, when I mentioned that Shannon Pyatt, who is on that first call, came back and said to us just a few weeks ago, 90% of my new business is coming from Facebook. They're actually saying, I see you all the time. People are calling him, right? Calling him to say, hey, please sell my house. And that's happening because he's continually marketing his listings. He only pays for $1 a day, but he's got a lot of listings. So there's a lot of people who have a chance to see his name. And then he puts that seller lead generation out there and he works on those. So I see some questions here. So that's kind of the high level strategy. I want to talk about that. Can you do a landing page for just sold if you are the buyer's agent? Sure, of course you can. You can just go right up here and say, hey, I want to create a listing on the top left. And in that listing, I'm going to market it and it's going to be a landing page and you go from there. Create new listing is up here. Totally do that. And people do that all the time. So in order to, what you want to be thinking about, it's like, how do I get my brand built on Facebook? And maybe you're going to do it for $1 or $2 a day. Maybe you use a listing landing page. Maybe you use a single property website, right? You click on a single property website here, you take the URL from up here, and you go for it, and you say, I'm going to run this ad for 4 or 5 days, right? Maybe I'm going to do that with by all means, if you're working an open house, by all means take one of our tools and put it on Facebook for $1 or $2 a day for 4 or 5 days, right? Because thousands of people are going to see that. Well, not only are thousands of people going to sort of see that and see that there's an open house, some may click on it. You might actually get a lead. But those thousands of people are going to start seeing that you are a real estate agent. And that's probably the most important thing going on. Because I don't know how many thousands of people in your markets know you're a real estate agent, right? I just don't know that. But we want thousands and thousands of people to be aware that you are. And about half or more of the adults in the United States are on Facebook. So this is a great, cheap, easy way to get that knowledge out. Okay? So these are some of the tools. Use these to build that brand, right? You build a brand. Right? It's just like, I don't know, any company builds a brand, right? They build a brand and then they start asking for big, revenue, right? And in your case, the big revenue is, I want your listing, right? So you build that brand by putting landing pages, single property websites, virtual tours, $1, $2 a day, borrow listings, right? If you've got an office where people don't mind that you're marketing to find more buyers, borrow a listing, pull it in here, put it in here, put a basic in there, get some ads out there so that you can show the market that you are a professional in real estate. Then, and you may not have any listings, but you may have borrowed 3 or 4 or 1 or 2, 5. You put them in your account. Then while you're doing that, you say, okay, now I know that the market is seeing my name, right? Because Facebook's going to tell you at the end of the ad, hey, 1,000, 2,000 people saw this, okay? And then you start taking our other tools and putting them on and saying, hey, well, now find out what your home's worth. So I'm going to take, let's see here, my active contingent one that we were looking at earlier, that landing page, and I'm going to show you how to run an ad first to build the branding, right? To get your name out there. And then I'm going to run another ad on how to get sellers. Okay, so we're going to do 2 ads here. We're about 30 minutes into this call. So I see some questions. I'm going to jump into the question real quick, and now I'm going to get into there. Yeah, okay. Can you do a landing page? Yeah, yeah. Are agents using a photo of themselves to brand themselves? So on Facebook. So that's a good question, okay? Are agents using a photo of themselves to brand themselves on Facebook? Don't post a picture of yourself on Facebook and boost that or run an ad on that. That's not the point. I'll show you what I'm talking about, but we talk about running an ad as an agent and running an ad as a community, right? You saw Scott do one in the Granite Bay Homes community page. And our clients do both. And you can do either and be successful. My recommendation, though, is actually just continually run ads. Run some as yourself as the realtor in your area. Run some as your community page. But remember, you dilute a brand if you do not, if you've got multiple brands running, right? Just like anything else. So I think if it were me, I would be running, I would say, I'm either going to have my picture on there and say I'm a realtor or whatever, or I'm going to just run my community. And it kind of depends, right? But I can tell you, like I mentioned Shannon a few times, he's got his business page is Shannon Paya Marketing System, right? And people just see it all day long, and they see ads coming out all the time. And so that works. There's a picture of him, and it's just, you know, you can barely tell it's even real estate related, but you can from the posts. So we'll kind of get a little more understanding when we do this. Up on the top, you can't see it, but there's actually a web address on here. And I'm going to right click and copy it, and I'm going to go over to Facebook, right? Now notice, again, when you ask that question, should I have my picture? This is what we're talking about right here. Your branding is on this very top. In this case, it's Lovely West Broward Homes. That's like a community page, right? There's really nothing about an agent there. But you know it's real estate related, right? So that could work. This could also say, Carrie the Realtor in West Broward, right? And we looked at one just a few minutes ago that was the agent's name with Remax, okay? And there was this picture. So both styles work. So now that I've copied my page, my web address for this, I want to run an ad. So what do I got to do? I go to Facebook, and there's an arrow pointing down up here, right? And when you click that, there's a page that says Create Ads. That's where we're going. Do not boost people. There is a function, there's an ability to boost a post. It's not as good. It's not as targeted. And we'll wait for this. My computer's running a little slow because I got all kinds of software running. And it's going to give us a list of objectives. What do you want to do? One of those is like you want to pay for likes. We don't want to pay for likes. We want to send people to our web address, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as soon as I'm done filling up time when this dumb page does it, okay? So the third objective here is send people to your website, all right? And what that means, just to be clear, we're not sending people to your real estate website, right? Your company website. No, we're sending it to the website that we just copied, and that's that web address for property. For in this case, it is a it's an active contingent home, right? So again, just as a reminder, I'm telling people I'm a realtor, right? I think 71% of adults in the United States are on Facebook. I want them to know that I am a realtor. That's what we're doing. So when I paste that in and I click continue, it then opens up the rest of the page. Okay. And here's why this section right here, who do you want your ads to reach, is the most powerful thing going on. And for some reason, my computer's jumping around. So I'm sure it's jumping around for you, and my apologies. So let me get up there a little bit. There we go. Come on. All right. So Scott did this earlier, but I want you to understand, and he was saying something about zip code. I live in an area called Lafayette, right? So I'm going to type in Lafayette, California, and when I do, Facebook says, great, Lafayette plus 25 miles. Okay, so you got to think about this. This is really important. And now they do it so it's pretty nice. It kind of shows you this little radius map. And this should point out, this is what we have to think of. People in San Francisco may not want to know that I'm a realtor in Lafayette. Down in San Mateo, definitely not. Livermore, they're not going to care. They might, but the chances are no. But I'm going to change this radius by clicking this button up here to 10 miles. And since I'm just saying that there's a home for sale, now this changes my radius, and I am sure that people in Walnut Creek and Danville and Alamo and all these little towns, they are going to want to know, because that is kind of closer to my neighborhood. And I would want to do business. I would certainly want to help people buy or sell a home in Danville, right? And next door to Walnut Creek or in Walnut Creek. But right now, this home is in Lafayette. So you got to think about that radius. That's like number one thing there, right? Now, the next thing is the age. How are you going to bracket your age? And I'm going to say, I might say minimum 30. In this case, I'm just going to do 25 so I don't have to scroll around. And you want to think about that, right? And let's see. The rest, I would ignore. I've heard people talk about it. Some people say good things, but I would just tell you, ignore it. In this case, it's an age range that's relevant, and it's a geographic area that's relevant. Okay, that's number one. Now I'm gonna state it right now, and I want you to hear it now, because and then I'm gonna repeat it when we do the next ad. Okay. In this case, we're running an ad like active contingent, maybe just sold, maybe open house, maybe it's whatever. But what we're trying to tell all these people in this area is, hey, I'm a realtor. So that's why my radius is 10 miles. If I was running an ad for property valuation in Lafayette, I would want there to be no radius. I would want them to live in Lafayette to see that ad, okay? And let's see there. If I don't want my competitors to see my ads, is there a way to make sure that other people don't see it? No, Kim, there is not. What about everyone in this location options? I don't really know what that is. Yeah, so everyone, so let me just click it. I can see, okay, everyone is looking. People who live in this location, people recently in this location, people traveling. Just people who live in this location is all you're really after, or everyone, right? I honestly, I think some of this stuff is just too much, and I know it's a distraction for many of you because you look at everything that pops up on a page. We don't even worry about that. So here is the next most important thing. How much to spend? This ad, for an ad like this, which is marketing you to tell people, hey, I'm a realtor, $1, $2, $3 a day maybe, okay? But run your ads for 3 to 4 to 5 days, okay? And you click this radio button, you set the date, and then it tells you, okay, your max is going to be whatever it's going to be, right? Based on how many days. And then thousands of people are going to see that, and that's what we're after. We're after people getting to know your name. Okay. Now up here are two sections that you can add more photographs, and you can certainly do that. It rotates the images so that they're not just looking at that front image. So let's kind of talk about the components. I won't change it all because the way that this thing is running a little bit slow. Here it says sponsored by Listings to Leads. Okay, and so when we're talking about brand building, you should know it's not going to say sponsored by Listings to Leads. It's going to say sponsored by you, the realtor, or by your community page. Okay, and that's the brand, right? That's the branding that's going to go on. Now over here, let's see here. It says another home, active contingent, blah blah blah. You can change this to whatever you want, and as you saw, we do recommend that you change the language. Maybe this is a beautiful exclusive home, or whatever it is about this that you want to tell people to associate again your brand with this kind of quality, right? And if I scroll down here, I can see that it says active contingent in, and you can change that. So whatever you change here, just like Scott did, when you change it on this side, it shows up on the right side under the ad, and that's what people will see, right? And that's kind of it. So then we can choose a button, and I think, let's see what, it's giving me some grief for probably putting in too many periods. Yeah. Choose a button. Learn more is always a nice button. It's just another one of those things like a call to action, right? That's going to allow people to click to learn more. Right? They'll get that. Now, here's another thing, and Scott mentioned it earlier. You get the options of on the right side column, mobile newsfeed. I never recommend right side column, but because we're trying to get people just to recognize our brand, maybe mobile newsfeed is good for this, right? Because we're not really expecting too many people to click it and fill out a form. So that's not really going to be an issue. But as long as people start seeing our name, that's really more important. So again, this kind of ad, you want to run it $1 or $2 a day. All the people who get great results run ads every day. And they can do it because it's $1 or $2 a day, right? So borrow listings, change the status of your listings, market the same listing, multiple times in different statuses as it kind of goes through that process. And that's how you do it. You place the ad. This is a great way for you to build a brand, okay? Now, I am going to, let's see if I can get back to my top page one more time. Let's go here. So, oh, sorry guys. Hopefully that, I just clicked something totally wrong here. Click the wrong thing, so give me a second. So now let's go to the landing pages section, and this is where we're going to get into posting a property valuation ad. Now, if you're brand new to us, you can go in and you can sort of click into any one of these buttons and create the page you want. You could also just go right here in this box and type in something like, I don't know, Reno, okay? And when you click the button here that says save, this creates a Reno page under every one of these buttons, okay? So you get like the whole suite of landing pages for Reno. So wherever you live, you might be operating in 4 or 5 different towns. Type in the name of your town up here in this box and save it, and it'll create all those pages at one time. Now, I'm going to go over here to Plus, and Scott said it earlier, property valuation, the word plus means that there is a valuation built in at the end of the page, right? And that's kind of a nice thing, because then you saw us show you a couple ads where it says get your property valuation instantly or in seconds. Well, when the page has plus on it, it has it right at the end. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that process. When you create a page, type in your address and click go and finish the process so you can see what a consumer sees and you can see what you're going to get as an agent. All right. Now, this is Lafayette. This is our reservoir in the center of town. If you live in Lafayette, people, kids and their dogs every morning and noon and night in this place, right? So we do recommend that you change the background photograph of your landing page. And where we clicked on see landing page, you can click edit landing page. And when you click edit landing page, there will be that default picture. And then from there, you can just remove it and upload and change it, okay? And then just copy the link wherever you see it and take it over to Facebook and run a property valuation ad. Now, I see a question here, so I'm going to get that question, and then we're going to run that ad. Do I need a business page for Facebook, or is the one I have for me as an agent okay to use? As long as it's, so that's a good question. The rules of Facebook are that you cannot promote business on a personal page. So Aaron, I don't know actually what your page is. You might have just created a page one day, you got onto Facebook one day, oh, I'm going to create a page and blah blah, and you created a personal page and you use that as your marketing page as a realtor, right? You may have done that. Okay? And if you did that, it looks like a business page to you, but it does not look like a business page to Facebook. So you actually do need to create a business page to get the functionality to run an ad, okay? And if you don't have the functionality, just go to Facebook and create a business page. It takes just seconds. And that's it, right? That's really what to think of there. So we have a business page. So just like we ran that other one, I'm going to copy the web address at the top here, but this time it's about home valuations, okay? So when I go over to Facebook now, I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to click that little tiny triangle pointing down, and I'm going to say create ads. And hopefully Facebook doesn't jerk me around because I clicked the button earlier. Okay, I think we're okay. Preparing your new ad account, connecting your pages. Let's see here. I don't know. Well, it's looking a little bit weird. No, it's okay. Okay. So, we're sending people to the website. This time, it's our property valuation landing page, right? I copied that URL. I paste it in here. I click this little blue bar and it pushes it up, and then it gives me a button that will say continue, and I run continue. Okay? And then it kind of goes through its thing. So I'm going to point out the differences. It's almost exactly the same. Okay? And again, I told you earlier, I'm going to repeat myself. So let me repeat myself. This is for a home in Lafayette. Okay? So if I'm saying, hey, do you want to find out what your home is worth in Lafayette? I definitely want it for people who live in Lafayette. Right. So in this case, I could type in the zip code, or I could just type in Lafayette, CA, California. There we go. And the default, if I did a zip code, it would do whatever. It would just give me the zip code. But I'm going to say in this case, no radius. That means that I only want the people who live in Lafayette to see this. Now, also, you don't know this about Lafayette, probably, but homes are a little bit pricey here. And I'm going to guess that nobody under 30 owns a home in this area, right? Because it's just, they're not $200,000 homes, right? So this might reduce my potential reach, but I don't care. My reach is exactly who it is. They live in this town, they're over 30 years old. But this time, I'm going to put a bigger budget. And my recommendation is $20 a day. I also recommend that you run this for 3 days at a time. Don't run an ad for 30 days and think it's just going to run, because especially if you're new to us, You need to test it. You need to test that language. So we were talking about language at the beginning, the words that you write. But one big test, it's A/B testing. One good test is, do I get more leads on the weekend or do I get more leads on the week? That's usually the first thing that you want to figure out. Also, mobile and or not mobile. We've had people on, you can go read it on the mastermind group, where somebody says, oh, I got all these clicks and they were all mobile, but I didn't get any leads. What should I do? I don't know what you think you should do, what we should do in that. But for me, it's remove the mobile, right? If I'm running an ad in the middle of the week, and let's just say in San Francisco, and all these people are standing in line at Starbucks looking at my ad and clicking on it, I'm just wasting money because they're not paying attention to my ad. They just see it, it's kind of interesting, but they're not there, right? They're not really going to do that. So I must have copied the wrong page here because it's that same active contingent. It could just be that my browser's just clunked up and jumped up. But this should be a what is your home worth ad, property valuation, the Lafayette one. And I would then want to say, hey, thinking of selling your home in Lafayette? Click here to get your home value in seconds for free, right? That one agent did that, and he says he's getting a bunch of leads. It's really simple stuff. It's really simple stuff. If people know they don't have to talk to you to get what they're looking for, they'll click it. And if you say instant and free home value, are you thinking of selling? That's enough information for them to go, oh, great, yeah, click, I will fill that out. Yeah, they're going to get the instant valuation. You're going to get an instant lead, and that's what everybody wants, okay? So you could choose a button here, right column, remove that, pretty much all the time. Let's go over here. I see a question. Instead of using a city like Lafayette, does this work with a subdivision or planned community name? A city around me would be too large to target. Yeah, that's a good question, Rita. So a subdivision, I don't know where you are, right? And a subdivision, if you were in Los Angeles, might be housed into a zip code, right? Probably not, but that would be about as close as you can get. So sometimes when you're doing this, you got to shoot a little bit wider, even though your neighborhood is super tight. And I will tell you this, and everybody should really listen to this. I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago who's operating in the Chicago area. And there are lots of areas in Chicago, obviously. And he wanted listings in this one particular area, right? So, and was like, well, let's think about it, the zip code. So we made the page for that area, okay? And so we got the right picture, it's going to look right, it's going to resonate right. We can target it by the zip code, which means here's the zip code, there are 5 subdivisions, but one of it is in it. So at least the people living in that area are going to see it. And that'd be about as close as you can get, right? The one thing though, and I want you to think about this, all of you, is then I said, well, how many homes are there? And he said, oh, there's about 500 homes. And then I just had to like point out the obvious. It's kind of like using a shotgun in kind of a BB gun approach, right? You need, that's such a small target that this might not be the best way of doing it. Maybe taking that page and putting a unique URL and driving people to it with a postcard, it might work for you. But you're making that pool so tight it's not going to work too well. Is there a way to do different ads such as recent listings? I don't know exactly what that means. I see other agents doing it. They show 3 listings moving sideways. Does that mean they're rotating sideways? I don't even know what you're talking about. Great point about mobile. We might think it's a good thing because everyone is mobile, but if you can't contact them, it's wasted money. Exactly, Pat. And I think that for some people, I'll tell you this about mobile. Mobile also includes iPads, right, and tablets. And people might be sitting around their house on the weekends using mobile. So maybe it works. So it's worth testing. These pages are mobile responsive, right? They even work on a phone. But it's kind of like you got to kind of use a little bit of common sense. What's really happening? My target market, where are they? Am I targeting Silicon Valley in the afternoon? And are there all those people on smartphones? Yeah. Are they really going to fill this out? No. So yeah, the carousel means it's rotating photographs. I don't know if it's rotating in front of you. I don't think so, although it could be because they are allowing some new GIF technology on Facebook. But right here is a section that says, how do you want your ad to look? Do you want a video? Do you want multiple images? Um, and you can do that, and that certainly would help. Actually, I recommend running multiple images. You can upload them right here on Facebook, and it changes the look of the ad. And there's nothing wrong with that because some people respond to kitchens, some respond to great rooms, some respond to a big landscape shot. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know everybody in your target market. So multiple images in one ad is really a great idea, I think pretty much all the time. So that's kind of it, right? I'm going to leave it here for questions, but what I want you to know, this is supposed to be a what is your home worth kind of ad. The big differentiator here is what's my daily budget, and you got to learn when is the time to run it. Is it on the weekend or is it during the weekday? Run these ads for $3. I'm sorry, 3 days at a time, 4 days at a time max. And then wherever your target is, make sure it's right there. Now this one is the radius, and there was a question earlier about a subdivision, so you got to kind of use your own, you know, brain power to figure that one out of how that's going to work. Facebook today does not have every subdivision in the country in their database, so we can't really use Facebook that way. But you know, sometimes you can sort of do the workaround. You will see, like, I think what happens for most agents is they hear about this technology, property valuation, home valuation, everybody's getting leads. I'm going to go to listings to leads, get that page, paste it on Facebook, and I'm just going to be like awesome. And for many of you, that actually can work really well. You just do nothing but just put on property valuation, and that can work really well. But our clients that really start killing it are the ones that are running pages that also say, hey, I am a realtor. I have a home open house. I have a home just sold. I have a home just reduced. And I'll tell you, I see a lot of clients who are not thinking about what they're doing when they're saying that. They're not putting lead capture behind it. When you see something like this, it's obvious. This page is designed to capture leads. So if you're going to take that time to run an ad like that, use Facebook to get it in front of your target market, whether that's in your town or 10 miles outside of your town. But make sure you're doing it with something that can capture a lead and deliver it to you. So let's see here. Got another question. Can you use a community Facebook page as a property valuation page? Is there a specific video showing how? I don't know if you're getting confused, Rita, but a community Facebook page is like a business page, but it's just more of a community page, right? So if you want to run an ad through a community page, you do it exactly the same way as running an ad through a business page. Okay, and yeah, you could run a property valuation page through that, or you could run a open house ad through that, or an active contingent ad, just the same way that you would do it inside of a business page. Community page works the same way. Okay, same kind of budgeting, same kind of targeting, all that. The only thing that I want to remind you is don't boost, because boosting will do some targeting, but it also targets everybody who likes your page, and there are many people who like your page that aren't really part of your target market. It could be other agents, it could be me, and then I see ads, I see ads from people across the country because they like me, we're friends on Facebook, and then I see their ad, and they may be excited that Facebook is saying, hey, I've reached 1,000 people. Well, a couple of hundred of those people are not the target market for you, and so you kind of want to think about that. So everybody, we've spent just about an hour here. I am going to put this recording up on our page, our mastermind group today. So please check it out if you have questions. If there aren't any more questions right now, I just want to thank everybody for your time, but I am going to hang out another minute. You're welcome, Steve. And there is a page here that says contact support. And I hope you found it. And right here in the middle is the best place to ask your questions because we can see your code and stuff like that. And all of our support team are watching this. So if you need quick answers, right here is the best place. Zopum, I know everybody always thinks it's fast, and sometimes it's fast, and sometimes you're waiting. That's why this box here is the best. So everybody, thanks so much. Have a great day, and welcome back to work. I hope you have a yeah, Sean Amandeep. I don't know. If look at his ad, you'll see it. I don't know. Let's go look real quick. I guess you're thinking I know every post inside of our mastermind group. That would be Scott. Yeah, I'm not the one that like watches that all day long. Let me see if I can do a quick look on his name, and we'll see if we can see something. Let's see here. Yeah, I do, oddly enough, have a life. Let's see here. So I'll tell you one thing. You can see I'm searching up here, and you can search people's name. My last name is Meza, M-E-Z-A, and you will see that I frequently repost and tag certain posts. I would search on my last name, M-E-Z-A, inside this section. Search all for results, best running ad, 100 registrations, 4 buyers. Let's see. Yeah, you know what you should do? Well, there's 88 comments. He probably showed you the ad inside, but if not, write a comment and say, hey, can you show us a picture of your ad? Then you will have that answer. All right, everybody. Have a great week and get on our calls with us. Keep learning with us because things change all the time. This Facebook advertising is one of the most powerful things going on in real estate. It did not exist 2 years ago, okay? And while we were good at it a year ago, we are awesome at it now.